Welcome back. Good afternoon. Okay. Today, this afternoon, I'm going to talk about the pattern, how to make a pattern. So we'll start with the bodies. The bodies is the half of the body, half of it from here, from the toe up to the waist. That's what I'm going to talk about up here. So first of all, we'll start with how to do the measurements. First, we'll start with the shoulder. Let me just write it, the bodies, okay? Number one, we measure the shoulder. Number two, we measure bust. Number three, we measure the waist. And number four, the arm hole. Okay? So these are the measurements for the bodies. These are the measurements that we measure for the bodies. I'll start with the shoulder. How do you measure the shoulder? Okay? You measure the shoulder using this measuring tape. You can use the one with big numbers here. We call them inches. 1 inch, 2 inch, up to 60 inches. Okay? If you don't want to use these inches, you can use even centimeters. These small numbers, we call them centimeters from this side. So now we'll be using the inches because inches are much easier. Okay? So now I'll measure myself here. Have you seen how I'm doing it? I'll start from here up to here. So these are the measurements. My shoulder is 16 inches. So I'll put 16 inches from here. 16 inches. Or you can just put 16 inches. This means inches in short. If you don't want to write in words, you can write in like this. Okay? So it's just the same. This also called inches. Now the next one is the bust. The bust is you can, as you can see, I'm a woman. I have a bust here. So that's where you can measure the bust like here. So my bust is 42. Okay? So I can put 42 here. I'll put 42 inches or 42 inches like this. These are just the same. And then from there, I measure the waist. The waist is here, just under abapamkomba. That's where the waist is. So my waist is 37. 37 inches. Okay. Now the armhole. The armhole is where you're going to put the sleeve. Here. That's where the armhole is. So you measure like this. So my armhole is 9 inches. Okay? Here. That's where my armhole is. And this 9 inches, it's a normal one for all the human beings. Unless if you are big, that's when you can have 10. More especially men. Men mostly is 10 and above, 11 and 12. But for us ladies, it's 9. That's a normal one. 9 inches or 9.5 or 10 also. Okay? So put 9 here. 9 inches. So these are the measurements. So I have put my measurements. These are my measurements. You can also put yours. When you are learning, you can use your own or you can use your friend's measurements. You can measure your friend or your daughter. If you're at home, you can get the measurement from your daughter or your sister or your friend. So these are my measurements. Now how to make my bodies, the pattern of my bodies, I'm going to show you. Here's the duster. Can you use this one?
Go.
Okay. So I removed all the measurements just in case you forgot. So these are my measurements. You don't have to rub them, you have to keep them in your mind so that when starting, I was just trying to create the space. Now, since we have the shoulder, the waist, the bust, the shoulder, the bust, the waist, and the armhole. Okay? So these are the measurements for the bodies. So we start with the shoulder. We'll start measuring, we use the measuring tape. The shoulder. The shoulder, when measuring the shoulder, we don't measure the whole 16. We do half of it. Half of 16. It's how much? So if you don't, you are not good in mathematics, you just use the same measurements. You go where 16 is and you fold it. You want to make it half. Okay? So the half is how much? It's 18. 8 plus 8 is 16. So when you are measuring, when you are making a pattern, the shoulder, we divide by 2. So we start with 18. So I'm going to put this line like this. So this is the fabric that I'm drawing here. Imagine that this is a fabric. And this fabric, I've just folded like this. Like this. This is the material. You don't just measure the material the way it is like this. You fold it. You fold it like it. Since you know the measurements, so you fold it like this, or half or quarter, according to your measurements. So I fold this, it's on fold. This one is on fold. Okay, this fabric is on fold. So now I'm going to measure the shoulder. So I'll start with it. The shoulder, I've measured the shoulder, half of it is 16. Here. Don't put any allowances here, you just put 8, half. Now, we want to measure now what? The bust. So how to measure the bust? You start with the armhole first. So the armhole, you're going to measure the armhole from where the shoulder ends. That's when you're going to start the armhole. So the armhole, you just measure the way it is 9. Okay? You measure where 9 is here. This is the armhole. So where the armhole is, that's where you're going to measure the bust. That's why you're going to measure the bust. Now on bust, it's a circumference, it's all round. When we say circumference, it's all round. So this 42 bust is the circumference. It's 42. So circumference, we divide by 4. On shoulder, we divide it by 2. But on this bust, because it's circumference, it's round. Shoulder is just once. But the bust is round. So it's divided by 4, quarter. We divide by quarter. Right? By 4. So 42 divided by 4 is, if you are not good on mathematics, you can use the same. You fold it where 42 is. So this is my bust. I've put it half. Okay? This is half. Now we want to quarter. So I'm going to fold it again to make it quarter. Okay? Like this. So there are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you start from the first number and then you go up to here. It's about 10.2. Yeah, it's about 10.2. So if it's 10.2 here, that's why we are going to put the measurement for the bust somewhere here. Okay, so you draw a line just to indicate, to show that this is where the bust is. Okay, so the bust is hanging from here. Okay, so this is the bust. Now from the bust here, these are the actual measurements. Don't forget to put the allowances. So you can put 1.5 for allowance. Okay, 1.5 allowance. You put 1.5 up to here. You start from here, you put 1.5 from here. So this is allowance, 1.5. Okay, so now it's going to end up to here. It depends whichever allowances you want. So I'll put 1.5. Some you can put even 1 inch or half inch. Okay, from here now we are going now for the waist circumference. We also, waist, it's round, so it's circumference. It's also round. It's also by quarter. We divide by quarter, same as the bust. So since waist, we have 37 waist there. And how to measure where the waist is? You start from here. You put the natural waist. Where is the natural waist? From where my shoulder is, kufika, to reach where my umbilical cord, above the umbilical cord, about 1.5 above. It's about how much now? Here. About 19, eh? Here.
20.
20. So my natural waist is 20. So this 20, that's where my waist is. So I'll measure from here to show where my, it's about here at the end here. So I have to know somewhere here. Okay, I'll put 18, not 20. I'll put 18 here. My natural waist should be 18. So this 18, that's where my waist is. For us women, especially the elder women or ladies, the normal natural waist starts from 15, 16 up to 20. Okay? So here I'll put 18. I'll put 18. inches. And here it was 9 inches. 9 inches, eh? And then from here it was 8 inches. Okay? So now 37. We say 37, you divide by 4. You use exactly the way we did in the bust. And then when it was 9.2. So put 9.2 here. Is 9.2 somewhere here. Okay. Somewhere here. Now here it's 9.2. Don't forget the allowance. Here we put 1.5 allowance. Also here we're going to put 1.5 allowance. So the 1.5 allowance is going to be here. And on the waist, we even put the dart allowance. So we are going to put 1 inch for the dart allowance. We add here on the waist. So on the waist, we have to put 2 things: the allowances and the dart allowance. Okay? So now how to join these knots. That's where we are going now. From here we will start from the neck. How to create the neck. The neck we are going to put here 3 inches for the neck. So 3 inches for the neck. We put 3 inches here. That's the normal one. Put 3 inches. And then across we put 3 inches. Down here we're going to put 4 inches. Okay? Here 3, here 4. And this is the shoulder. We don't just leave it the way it is. You need to slope the shoulder. So that's slope. We are going to put 0.5 here. We're going to put 0.5. This one. Put 0.5 here. Here. In the shoulder. Okay. 0.5. This is a slope. You are going to slope the shoulder. Okay. You are going to slope the shoulder. Now we will. You are going to slope this shoulder like this. Okay. So if we slope this shoulder, then we measure to curve now what? The armhole. You don't have to leave it the way it is. There is no dress or shirt with an armhole like this. So we're going to make it the way it's supposed to be. So now this is 8 inches from where I've sloped it. This is 8 inches. So 8 inches, half of 8 is 4 high. So this 4, we are going to put 0.5. This 0.5 here, inside. Okay? And then you are going to measure here, 3 inches. If this one is 3 inches, then this side also we are going to put 3 inches here. You will not here like this. Okay? These notches that I've put, we are going to join them starting from here. You join like this. And then you come here. And then you join this like this. Okay? So this now is an armhole now. You join these notches. So this is the armhole. Now here on the neck, you join this, you curve it like the way I'm doing it to make it curved. This is the round neck. Okay, you're putting it as a round neck. So this is the bodies, and then here you just join from this part So this is my bodies. This is my shape. Okay. So you can try it to do this one.